Hey everyone, it's Arnold here with Overland Explorer, along with one of our techs, Joe. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, guys.
Joe's going to go over a whole bunch of stuff. So just like we're turning over a camper to a customer that might come in for a factory install. So Joe, what are you going to start with?
I think the first place I would start when I'm coming into one of these campers or showing somebody how to use one is the main disconnect. So right here we have a 90 amp breaker. So that's going to kill all the power to your fuse block. So that's where I'm going to start right now. You're going to start that button, and that's going to give you power to everything you have in here.
Okay.
One thing I should mention is that
just sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to just keep jumping in from time to time. So there's a button there. There's a red button, as you can see, and on the side there's a red lever. So once you push that button, that red lever pops out. So then the breaker is actually closed.
Right.
So to get power back from your battery, all you're going to do is grab that lever, push it in, and then boom, you got power going back to everything else.
That's correct. So one thing I'm going to mention is that we've had questions about the electrical draw on the Redarc screen that we have over here. So that's going to stay live regardless of whether or not this is popped or not. So this has a milliamp draw that could be on for months and not kill your battery. So it's not something to worry about, but that's where it's drawing power to keep that LCD screen going.
Okay, so that LCD screen is going to keep going. If you've got an optional solar panel on top, that's where it's going to be getting its juice if this is all isolated. Or if you got solar, or if you got shore power plugged into the Redarc, that sort of thing. So if you see a percentage of battery on that display, what that's telling you is that is if your battery's still in the vehicle, it's that sensor going back is still reading what that battery level is. Correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, let's jump in. Where do you want to go next?
I think we'll start with the control panel here. So I'll give you a brief rundown here. This is super simple to use. So when I get into the camper, the first thing I'm going to do is have a look at this screen. This is going to come all pre-ready for you, time and date.
All programmed?
All programmed, yep.
Okay.
And fully charged. So there's going to be a small battery symbol up here, and that's going to tell you whether or not you're currently charging.
Okay, some of this stuff you might not be able to see this, but there we go.
This right here, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on your main screen. That's going to tell you whether you're charging or not.
Okay.
Right now we're charging through solar, so we're sitting in the shop. We're still getting a small yield on that, so it's going to show you that regardless of how small it is. Okay, so I'll take you through this screen here. First place you're going to go, it's going to tell you where your battery's sitting right now and how many days you have until it's flat, based on what it's currently drawing right now. So right now we have 2 lights on. We had a fan going, not anymore, but
yeah.
So very minimal draw. And this is gonna tell you every step of the way how long you have. So when you're on this screen and you press, there's a charge logs button. That's gonna tell you up to, I think it's 90 days, how quickly that's been charging for you based on which method you're using to charge.
Okay.
Be it solar, shore power.
All right.
So next thing we're gonna go to here, this is our input status page. So this is really important. This is gonna show you whether you're charging off solar is the top one. You can see that's black right now and it's drawing 8.3 volts. So that's what you're running on now. Second one here would be shore power. So it's not plugged in right now. It's not going to show anything. Mm-hmm. And the third one is off your truck.
Right. Because it's not plugged into the truck, it's got a line through it, so
right.
I'm not worried about it. Okay.
Absolutely. So also on this page too is a solar info. Okay, so that only lasts so long. You can press on the solar info button. So today, 22 watt hours. That's just today sitting in the shop. So that's going to tell you every day, right?
Off LED lights, that's not bad at all.
No, that's really good. That can be cleared anytime, easily. This is our output status. So this is going to tell you off the Redarc what's coming in and what's going out to the battery. So right now we're drawing 0.7 amps just to run our lights. Yeah. Right, and then so whatever else is coming in, 0.8 amps is going to the battery. Yeah. Right. So if you plug in your 30 amp shore power and you're drawing 5 amps in here, you're going to get 25 going to the battery. Yeah. If need be.
That's what I recommend doing, folks, is get to know your camper, right? Run your fan on high. Take a look at your Redarc. See what kind of draw it's got. Keep your lights on. Turn your lights off. You got your fridge on.
Right.
check it out. Put a bunch of beer in it or something like that. Fill it up. It's more efficient when the fridge is full rather than when it's empty.
For sure.
So you get to know these values, and then you get the confidence of knowing, okay, people often ask us, well, what size of battery should I get? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. What are you running inside the camper? So in here, all we're running is LED lights. You're going to run the fan on your heater in cooler temperatures. So do that. Run your Vario heater and check and see what it's doing for a power draw. That'll quickly tell you what your requirements are for a battery. So, because as of May 1st, 2021, these are shipping to the dealers without a battery. So if you're buying factory direct, if you're in Canada, we'll of course go through the battery selection with you. But there's so many choices now, so that's good to know about your Redarc power consumption, all that stuff. Also know that your Redarc will work with an AGM battery, or it will work with a lithium ion as well. But you do have to have it properly set up in the Redarc. So please do read your manual if you're going to swap out your battery. If you have any questions, you can always get a hold of a dealer.
Right, and it does change the charging algorithm. So based on what you have as a battery, of course, it'll take longer. We've had a few with 300 amp hour batteries, 100 amp hour batteries. That's going to take double, triple the time, right? Naturally, if they're dead. So when you are changing that, you can go, that'll tell you right here. This is your charging status. So right now, like I said, you're getting a little bit of charge off the solar panel. So you have a boost right here, and it'll say boost or charging or float. Okay. If you're fully charged, right?
Cool.
Again, on this screen, you have voltage and also a battery temperature. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
And you can change to your storage mode right here. That's easy to do, and that'll be, of course, when you winterize and you have your battery sitting in here.
That's right. So you're going to put it in storage mode. And despite what you might read, you're not going to do any damage putting it into storage mode. That's a good idea to put it in storage mode if you're not using it. Right. What else about the Redarc that we got a momentary switch built into this camper? Can you explain to everybody what that's all about?
We do, right. So I'll show you guys where that is up here. We have the Redarc mounted up here underneath the countertop. So you can see that right here. It's got a guard on it.
Yep.
So that's essentially a momentary switch to when your battery's low, and if you're sitting out camping for a week and you're not really running too much, you're going to want to flip that switch on, hold that for about 10 seconds, and that's going to simulate that you're charging off your truck.
Okay, so really what it's doing, you're fooling the Redarc into thinking that the voltage on your truck, so you're now plugged in, assuming of course the camper's on your truck, it's going to take a look at that voltage that's on your battery in your truck as the voltage that's actually in your house battery.
Right.
So we're just playing a trick on the Redarc, and then it'll automatically start sending charge.
Right. And
to the house battery.
You're going to see that on here as a voltage from the truck. It's the exact same thing.
That's right.
So that'll be down here. That'll be lit up in black like this.
So what happens if you got it plugged into shore power and you don't have it plugged into a truck? Or if you got it onto solar? Will it take a look at that voltage coming off the solar or off the truck? Or off the shore power?
It will.
Okay,
yes.
so whatever it's seeing, it'll definitely work that way as well.
For sure.
Perfect.
For sure.
Good.
So that's pretty much it for this Redarc Manager screen.
Okay. Again, you got the manual, folks, and there's a ton of YouTube videos as well. Check them out. And again, if you have any questions, contact your dealer.
Right, and so the rest of this control panel, you've got a USB. That's going to have two 5-volt ports, one of the 1 amp, one of the 2.1 amp. All of this, again, is on the fuse block in here. We'll go over that later. This is your interior lighting. There's 2 LED lights in here, and then your water pump switch. So I will show you guys this. This is the Truma water heater here, and your Truma Vario heat. So everything on this fuse block is labeled for you. Fuse installed, so if there were ever to be an issue with that, this is where you would look. Very easy to change. So I'll show you guys the rest of that after.
Okay.
So that would take me to your Truma screen.
Truma.
Yes, that's for the heater and the water heater.
All off one screen, folks.
Yes, and this is really, really easy to use once you get used to it. So the first thing I would
Keywords
do,
once you get used to it.
yep, for sure. It seems like more than it is. So first thing I'm going to do when I get on here is there's a little wrench on the bottom right of the screen. You're going to go all the way to the right and hit reset. So I've already done that here in this unit, so I'm not going to press it now. You're going to click that, and it's going to take.
So again, you're just rotating the knob and then pushing the knob.
Right.
Got it.
It'll be about a 10-15 second delay, and you're going to come back to your home screen. So I'm going to go back to that, and in your upper left here, this is going to be for your variable heat. So you turn that on, it's going to just throw off. And you go all the way to the right or to your desired temperature, whatever you want. So I'm going to crank it all the way to 86. And I'll show you while I'm doing this. Over here is your temperature sensor. So I would advise not having anything stacked against that, or it could delay.
Okay. So this is a fridge delete model. That temperature sensor is in the same location, whether you've got a fridge there or not.
That's right. So that just clicked on. That's going to take about 10 seconds. From when you touch that button, it'll take about 10-12 seconds, and you're going to get heat right away. The only thing we've noticed in the past is if you've never fired the unit up, of course they come tested, but if you haven't fired it up, there's a potential for error in the propane line. And if you get perhaps a reset or a code, I just do the reset, do it again, and it works that way. That's the only thing, is that error in the line. So periodically. So you got heat now. This little icon here on the top left, that's going to tell you that your heater's lit, it's reading propane, and you're working. That won't come on at all if you have no propane.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm feeling heat, man.
Right. Yeah, and these things put out a wicked amount of heat.
They
This thing draws 2.1 amps when it's maxed out, which
crazy,
is
yeah?
awesome on these heaters.
How many speeds does this fan have?
This has 4 speeds.
4 speeds, okay.
Yeah, and it's of course going to periodically kick on higher or lower depending on what your temperature setting is set at.
Okay.
Right. So this, in about a minute, when it senses that it's not at 86, it's going to kick on high.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's avoid that because it's quite comfortable in here right now.
It's quite nice, yeah. So I'll turn that off. So that's all there is to that. Very simple. So now we'll go through the Truma water heater. So right here, the icon here, the little thermostat.
Yeah, it's hard to see from this side. So
Yeah.
zoom in over here. There we are. There it is.
So I'm going to press that button. You got a couple different modes, eco and comfort. I suggest going with the comfort myself.
Yeah. So the difference between the eco and the comfort is temperature.
Right.
Right? And you would think in your mind, you would think eco is going to be a lower temperature.
Right.
But it's not.
No, it's not. And a big difference in those two modes too is how fast you're getting hot water.
Yeah. So
Right.
eco mode is actually 49 degrees C, and comfort mode I believe is 39.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I will show you guys that. So I've got the water heater shut down right now completely. So we're going to go through it from the beginning. We're going to go to comfort mode, desired temperature. So this will go 120. Click on that. So I can hear the Truma water heater firing right now as it is. So this tank's already full of water. Now,
Yeah, we haven't. This particular cabin hasn't, or camper has not been winterized yet for the purpose of this video.
right. So I'll show you guys right away. This has been about 15 seconds since I fired that up. Now you're gonna have basically instant hot water.
Yeah, folks, don't forget to turn your water pump on.
So that's already cooking.
Yeah.
Really hot already. So that's as hot as that's gonna get right now. Cold towards you.
Okay. Are you able to explain to everyone what's happening in the Truma? Like, the Truma's got a little reservoir on it,
Right.
which is about, I don't want to guess here. I think it's about a third of a liter. Not even. No, it's not even that
Not
much.
even quite that.
No.
A little bit shy of that.
Yeah. It's quite a bit less.
Right. So when you turn this on, oh, I just heard that fire up. So when we go out there, we'll look at it. Yeah, sure. You want to?
Sure. Let's go and
Let's
have a
have a
look.
look.
Then we can understand. You can keep talking.
So there's a switch on here. It's a toggle, two-way toggle. So there's two on positions. Now when I'm in eco mode, I'm going to put that in the up position. The book will tell you either or. I've just found that it tends to work a little quicker when I put it in the up position. It's something I've noticed.
Yeah. Okay.
So now I've already got the water pump on. So this reservoir is full, right? And when I turned that toggle on in there,
Yep.
that filled this tank up.
Yep.
So you're going to see right away when that fires up.
It's kind of hard to see the tank in the video.
Right.
But
Right here.
folks, I'm just going to kind of zoom in here a little bit, and you can sort of see the tank. It's pretty tiny.
So
About
that
the size
fired
of a
up
softball.
for about 15 seconds, and that tells me, because this flame's not on, that this tank is full. I can actually feel it.
Yeah.
The tank is full of hot water.
Good.
So now if I were to run the hot water, be it in the sink, outside shower,
Yeah.
as that's draining, it's heating more water up.
Yeah.
Just as quick as you're putting it out, basically. So you have continual hot water for, at least 5 minutes, right?
So if you are at you're camping,